All right, Gilad. Well, welcome. It's good to see you after a little while. Honestly, I think back today, like as we were going to jump on this, and I do remember like our first few conversations, and it did feel like a while ago now. And the goal was to expand your portfolio, and it feels like a long time ago that we kind of set out to that goal. But do you remember what was going through your head during those first few conversations back then?
Yes, I do. I do remember very well. It was expanding my portfolio. It was like not just expanding it, doubling it. I know I'm just in the beginning of my path with the real estate, but it was very exciting. I knew what I wanted. I had a little bit more. I had a little bit experience with the real estate and owning a duplex, and I just wanted to do that again. And this time, I just feel like I did need a little bit more guidance. And when I did it the first time, we moved over there. We were doing these the hack, right? The and it was fun. I just want now to kind of experience it again and be more like directed and make sure I'm not making any mistakes. I think that was my big goal. I didn't want to make any mistakes. I feel like after having kids, and I try to kind of go safe about it. But what did I feel? I feel like excited and I was ready, and I wanted to see. I just wanted to see, how are we moving forward. That was my thing. How we're moving forward, and yeah, it was mostly exciting.
Cool. It is slightly different, right, when you're looking for the house hack for yourself versus when you're looking for an investment property. So I think you noticed that in the difference of like what it was like finding it the first time. There's a little bit more emotion involved. But when you're looking at it in terms of an investment property, it's how do you get the best deal? How do you get a good turnaround after that? How do you save money on seller concession? So yeah, I'm definitely glad that we walked through all of that. And before we keep going though, I want to kind of just ask you, who is Gilad? Tell us your story. What was the goal that you achieved? Who are you from a background perspective?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Gilad, and I'm a father of three, married to my wife Ashland, and we uh, just normal family in the Midwest. And I come from the software industry, and I don't really do real estate or something like that. And so it sounded was kind of wanted to keep in my back of my mind as a backup plan for escaping this rat race that we are all in. Yeah, this is pretty much the background software, not related to any real estate or anything like that.
That's still numerical and data and things though, so it all comes together eventually. Cool. So before working together, I guess what was your biggest hesitation with deciding to with me in the beginning?
As you mentioned, it's very emotional to get your first property, and this is what driven us when we purchased the first one. We didn't do all the research that we've done together, you and me, for the next property. I felt like we didn't know what to compare it to. We didn't know what's good, what's not. So we just kind of went with the first offer. And I felt like this time I needed more guidance, as I mentioned. And I feel like, you know what, maybe let's play it right. Let's see where we can actually say. Let's see if we can. Are we even picking the best realtor? Are we really shopping around for the best rate for the mortgage? What kind of plans are we going to go? What the best plan for us? I mean, there's so many variables that me as coming from the outside, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
And I mean, all that can be frustrating too. Like when you're trying to decide, and you have your job, so like it's not like time is an unlimited resource for you. And so like all these problems popping up, being able to like talk them through with somebody, I'm glad that we walked through that together. And then what was the final thing that made you decide like, all right, yep, it's time to pull trigger and work with Ryan? Was there like one light bulb moment or anything that went off for you?
Uh, Actually, multiple times. I've been following you on Instagram, and I think the content is just gold, pure
Thanks.
gold. And I said, like, you know what? I feel like I need to work with this person. As soon as I've heard that you are offering the mentorship program you had, it was just no hesitation. I just picked up the phone and I said, let's start. Let's see what it is. And you didn't really want to try to kind of get me over there and try to just like you really need to make sure that we are a good fit. So you showed me the program. You told me this is what you're gonna go through. Are you willing to go through? Are you? Because it wasn't just a let's go get it. It was like more. uh, going through that course and understanding all these aspects and what it's going to take, and how, as I'm going through each section, we actually uh, working on it and doing it physically. It's not just I'm reading and going through the content and it's all done and good. It's we're actually practicing it and working on it. So this is what it was an easy pick. It wasn't even any doubts.
Thank
I
you.
knew we're going to go through, and I knew we're going to be successful with this process.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's my goal, is to go through it walking with you. So I'm glad that that's what you felt. And in the first month, I think that big thing for somebody when they start anything is that the first month, first week, first day goes well, or maybe you'll have some type of buyer's remorse. But from your perspective, how was the first month of working together?
I felt the knowledge just coming through me. I mean, I've been learning a lot from you. That was the first, things like, okay, I know what we were after. I know we targeted ourselves in a very small and neat market that was really challenging, and the competition here is very, very high. So we took all that into consideration. We gave it a few months, and then we kind of opened the scope a little bit. So it was very, very teamwork. It was very. I felt like we were a team, and we were building our team, and I feel like I was part of the team. You were part of the team, and we just added more members to the team as we moved along. And I'm still in contact with the team. I mean, we're still part of the same team, and we always in touch, and we're talking about future investments.
Awesome. And then after going through the process and doing the property tours, inspections, negotiations, all of that kind of stuff, and like you finally got the duplex and like you said, doubled the portfolio, which was the goal. What was that feeling like? Like what was that moment going to closing to feel that double coming?
Yeah, you always have this feeling like, hey, is it the right day? Is it the right thing? Am I going to be, ended up flipped upside down for a little while? That was not the case. It was a good deal from the get go. I think. Yeah, the feeling was, is it the right thing? But that was the same feeling I had before, and there's always this feeling like gets you like, is it going to be a good deal? But ended up being a very good deal. We're very happy. We have tenants. Yeah, we're moving to move forward. It was
Yep.
just a great experience.
I'm always glad when it all works out for that, because like for me, my own personal goal is to always put my clients in like the best possible situation for financial freedom. And whether that means buying properties that are going to appreciate a lot, whether that means hopefully helping you get cash flows and like operational efficiencies, maybe like cutting out property managers and showing you how to do it from that side. So my goal is always to do that, and it really worries me like online now when I see people not getting the right guidance, or just being like another number in somebody's book, or just another sale and treated kind of on the side, and that really worries me. And my question, I guess, here is, what's something about working with me that surprised you? Was there anything that like you weren't really expecting and then you got from me, or just like your favorite thing, just something that was like out of the ordinary you felt that you got?
Well, when we start working, I know you're not from this area, and I was a little skeptic how much work you've done in this area. So that was a little bit kind of, are you familiar with the area? Because it's very, you can fall on a corner that it's not going to be a good deal. So it was very surprised me that how quick you were fluidly known in this area, and you know what the differences between the counties and the cities, and because there is a little bit gap in between around Kansas City area. Uh, Whoever knows. And you got to learn that. I don't know if it goes through me, if I was the first customer, first client here in Kansas City, or a mentee, I should say, in Kansas City area. But I feel like I can trust that, and that was surprising that you were fluid in the area. I would say one more thing. Very surprised that how at the end I really feel very, very much comfortable to dump the property management that I have for the previous property, and just take ownership and manage it ourselves. It was a little surprising. I wasn't planning on it. The plan was to just always have a property management, but it just as you said, just money on the table that I'm just leaving it.
Right. Yeah. It's funny that you recognize that I pick up on the area, because that's genuinely one of my favorite parts about doing this, is meeting new people from new areas and then being able to dive into that area and learn about the market and everything like that. So it's funny that that kind of tied together. And I do want to just ask one one doubt check question, right? And was there ever a moment that you doubted that this would work? And if so, what wound up changing along the way?
Not even for a second. But we did have some doubts when it came to the scope
Mm-hmm.
and how the competition is very high in Johnson County area, especially when we come looking for multifamily, duplex. No, no doubts at all. I knew we were going to end up with a property, regardless if it would be, it was the location, and I love the location. We ended up getting one, and no doubts.
Yeah, that I mean, hey, that's the perfect scenario. And now that you've been through it, where do you see yourself in a year because of it, or your next move that you plan on taking it in a year from now?
Getting another one.
Let's go. Double down. I like it. I like the mindset. And my final question to you, Gilad. If someone's watching this right now and is on the fence about working with me, what would you say to them?
Just do it. Just do it. If it's your first property or the second or the third, you're going to end up with a property. But beyond that, you're going to end up with all this knowledge and the experience, and you know how to shop around. You know what you're looking for. Everything is documented. And I believe I have access to a channel in the community that you have been building. And yes, it's 100%. It's a must. And if you're doubting, there's no doubts here. If you're thinking, am I going to find one, or how should I do it? Ryan is the address.
I appreciate that, Gilad. So your final message, just do it, just like Nike. I like it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Gilad. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for hopping on. Very much appreciate your time.